yourself. Every single day without realizing it. Thank you, Jamie of mytarot.org. You finally made those Snickers commercials make all the more sense from a couple years back. What is really halting us? What's making us stop? Possibly 4 things are the start to very actionable solutions. Check you here in a minute. Welcome on back, everybody. My name is Jenna O'Malley. I am your soul writer, author of sci-fi, fantasy, with dashes of romance and nerdy references such as the Myrna Annals. We are getting ready for Daughter Forever, Ian's novella, about how his niece becomes his progeny, his turnling, and his adopted daughter in more than one sense. So it's a journey for those of us who are daddy's girls to kind of see things from our dad's perspective as we grow up. And I do invite you to check the description box below for that and all the other cool things that not only I have going on, but other people in the AuthorTube community have going on over the course of the next coming weeks. So, how have you been, everybody? Let's see what's halting, H-A-L-T, us. Oh. Jamie, over at mytarot.org, is the local tarot reader at a shop, La Lune Metaphysical, that I often do patron and mentioned here multiple times. And Jamie once asked me, what are you doing that is halting yourself? H-A-L-T. And ever since, I find that once I get over these 4 hurdles, my day normally becomes doable. We'll word it that way. So are you hungry? Yes. Have you had a Snickers? That one's an easy fix. Go eat. I say that ironically as somebody who, in order to keep my insulin resistance under control and my prediabetes under control, I do a lot of intermittent fasting. And because I sometimes forget to look at the clock, and suddenly my 12-hour fast has become a 20-hour fast without me intending. So yeah, that's an accurate question for those of us who have dietary whatnots going on. When was the last time you ate? And to clarify that question, when was the last time you ate something that was actually fueling you in the way you wanted to be fueled? This is probably why I keep circling back to doing salads often as my lunch, probably, to make sure I'm putting some fresh leafy green, not processed American stuff in my diets. Right? I grew up from a farm family. I should know better. My father's parents are farm people, and so are my mother's parents. I should really know better about what food to enjoy, and a lot of us have kind of lost touch with that, I think, in my generation. So, because of those Snickers commercials I've kind of mentioned, I have to go into A and ask, are you therefore also angry? Sometimes our physical body causes us to have these mental, emotional things as signs of, hey, feed me. Hey, give me a nap. So sometimes the are you angry question therefore also becomes a, is it a physical thing that goes to one of the other categories? I have found that normally anger masquerades as something greater since I have gone through a lot of grieving in the last decade of my life. So what's the real thing behind that anger? You might not actually be angry. And then L, are you lonely? We humans have tried our best to condition ourselves to think that we are lonely creatures, solitary creatures, lighthouses on a single beach with an ocean surrounding an island, but we're not. More accurately, it's probably more like somewhere akin to North Carolina, where we're all a bunch of interconnected pieces of land with our own lighthouses on it, signaling to each other a little bit. So, yeah, for those of you who know what the Outer Banks of North Carolina looks like, there's a bunch of, you can literally take a lighthouse tour up and down the coast. And I think we're more like that. Not a single lighthouse on a single island in the middle of the ocean. Thank you, writer Sam Wicker, for reminding me of that lately, along with Mama Maggie Ward, Rachel D. Adams, and Jess. So thank you all very much for reminding me of that lately. That's been my issue a lot lately. And I think all three of those add up to just making us feel tired. Tired can sometimes mean we are exhausted. Are you running in front of the pack or feeling like you're trying to catch up? Or are you actually doing the opposite of what you think you're doing in order to achieve what you think you're doing? You see what I mean? There's this old adage of a man who runs in front of car gets tired, man who runs in back of car gets exhausted. Some of us think we're behind the pack and we feel exhausted, when really we're leading more than we realize, and we're kind of stuck in between and don't give ourselves the grace to go, let me check in with me for a second, everybody, and make sure I'm okay first. We need to put the lighthouse on this part of this island's coast into repair. Hey, you all around me, keep shining. And normally that's where the halting process leads me to kind of ground myself into a little bit of, it is okay for it to seem like my lighthouse has blinked out for a second. Just as much as it's okay for, saying this on the weekend of a full moon, just as much as it is okay for the moon to go through her phases and take a sleep, we are allowed to do the same. We're allowed to be the moon that lives inside the lighthouse. Stop halting yourself. You're only going to cause yourself probably a blockage some other way anyway. Therefore, above all, take care of yourself. All my hugs. You've mattered all along. Thank you for sitting at my table for a while. See you in the next one.